The toilet wasn't doing anything. It was just sitting there silent, the way toilets do, but I was 8 years old, home alone, and I knew what the toilet was capable of. I had seen it. The rushing water swirling around in the bowl, the tank that wouldn't fill, the sound like a dam letting go. And I had done the math on what happens if I flush it, and it decides today is the day that it doesn't stop running. Flood, overflow, poop, everywhere. The toilet wasn't threatening me, my own brain was, and my brain was very convincing. The rumbles in the jungle said this was a dire situation, and I didn't have much time left. Here's the thing about being 8 years old and alone in that house. There was no one to call, no one to ask, and whatever was about to happen was going to happen to me, and I was going to have to deal with it myself. So I grabbed the Charmin, and I headed outside. Hey, I'm your host. This is I Took the Long Way, a podcast about life, detours, and somehow still being here to talk about it. Pull up a chair. Let me explain the toilet situation. It was old, and every once in a while, after you flushed it, something inside the tank would get stuck, and the toilet would just run, indefinitely. Tank never filling, water never stopping. You know that sound when they open the floodgates at a dam? That roar of the water that has somewhere important to be and nothing's going to stop it? That's what it sounded like. Except it was in our bathroom, and I was a kid alone in the house with no idea of how any of it worked. Sometimes I could fix it. Jiggle the handle just right and it would stop, crisis averted. Other times, no amount of jiggling helped. And in my head, there was only one possible outcome. Flood, overflow, poop, everywhere. So on this particular afternoon, when the rumbles in the jungles arrived and made clear that this situation was not optional, I walked to the bathroom door, stopped, and looked at the toilet. The toilet looked back. I did the math. Flush it, risk the flood, and handle whatever comes, alone, or find another way. I found another way. Okay, I need you to understand the precision and intention that went into this, because this was not a panicked, thoughtless act. No. This was a kid doing a full risk assessment and arriving at the most logical conclusion available to him, given all the information he had. The bathroom was compromised. The backyard was not. Simple math. I ran to the bathroom closet. Not the bathroom, just a closet outside of it. I wasn't going in there, So I grabbed the toilet paper. One thing you should know about our family, we were Charmin people, only Charmin. And my parents were particular about this. We had standards. Even though we were immigrants building a life in America, we had standards, and apparently that life included quality 2-ply toilet paper. You know the poop dance? I was doing it. Full commitment. Feet shuffling, one hand on my stomach while the other tried to rip open the plastic wrap. Mental note, it does not open easier under pressure. So finally, I made it down the hallway, through the family room, hit the sliding door at full speed and yanked it open. I ran to the center of the backyard. I looked left, looked right. Neighbors can't see? Okay. I took a moment, gathered myself, and handled my business with the dignity of a man who had no other options. I wiped. I stood up. I went back inside. Crisis averted. Man of the house. Was it the right call? No, come on. No, it wasn't. A running toilet is an annoyance, not a catastrophe. The water just runs, and I didn't know that then. I had bad information, no backup, and a ticking clock, and I still made a call. Sometimes that's all you can ever do. So, here's where things went sideways. I was back inside, feeling fine, maybe even a little proud of myself. I identified the problem, executed a solution, and had a satisfactory outcome. and then I turned around. The wind had picked up, and the toilet paper, the Charmin, the good stuff, the 2-ply, it was no longer where I had left it. It was moving. First, just flapping a little, catching the breeze, and then it started to lift, swirling up off the grass in little dust devils, spinning and scattering across the backyard like it was actively trying to escape the scene of the crime. I watched this for a moment, taking it all in, and then I went back inside and just closed the sliding door. Because what else are you gonna do? Here's the thing about making a call with no manual. You control the decision, but you don't control what happens afterward. The wind does what it does, and you can do everything right given what you know, and the world will still scatter your plan across the yard. And that's not a failure of the plan. That's just the world being the world. My parents got home that evening, and they noticed. I don't know what they expected to find in the backyard, but toilet paper was probably not on the list. They asked me about it, and here's the thing. I folded immediately, completely. Because how do you lie about toilet paper scattered across your backyard? What's the cover story? The wind? Neighborhood kids? A very confused bird? I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. So I just told them everything. The toilet, the sound, the jiggling, the rumbles in the jungle, the execution, the executive decision, the wind, all of it. And I braced for a butt kicking. But they laughed. Not a hearty laugh, not a polite chuckle either, just a real genuine laughter. My mom and dad smiling in the backyard and then going to clean everything up without making it a whole thing. Was I relieved? Yeah. Was I embarrassed? Absolutely. Both at the same time. I've gotten butt whoopings for lesser crimes, but here's what I thought about. They didn't punish the mess. They saw what I was actually doing. I was trying to protect the house, trying to handle it, and the execution was a disaster, but the intention was right. And they separated those two things. By laughing instead of yelling, they taught me something I couldn't have named then. It's safe to make the call, even when you get it wrong, even when the evidence ends up all over the yard. Nobody gives you a white paper for life. There's no stored procedure, no troubleshooting guide, no if-then statements that cover every situation, especially not the ones that show up unannounced. What you get instead is a broken toilet and a decision to make. And here's what I know about that kid. He didn't freeze. He looked at what he had, looked at what was available, and made the call. It wasn't a good call. It wasn't a dignified call, but it was his call. Made with the information he had, under real pressure with no backup. That's self-reliance. Not the clean, cinematic version, but the actual version. The version where you just grab the Charmin and hope for the best. When my parents came home and found the evidence scattered across the backyard, they didn't punish me for the solution. They laughed and they cleaned it up, and they handled it with me. That was the first time I understood something I couldn't have named then. Doing your best with what you have is enough. I've been thinking about that a lot lately, because I'm a dad, and there's going to be a day, probably more than one, when my daughter makes a call with bad information and no backup, and the evidence ends up scattered all over the yard. And when that happens, I want to be the kind of parent who laughs and cleans it up with her, who sees the intention underneath the mess and who makes it safe to make the call. That's the inheritance. That's what I'm trying to hand forward. Turns out that's been my whole life, figuring it out as I go. Sometimes you fix the toilet, and sometimes you go around it. And here's the thing. You might be thinking, wow, that must have been rough. 4 people, 1 bathroom. Well, it was a 3-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms. Thanks for listening to this episode of I Took the Long Way. take care of yourselves, and if nobody's told you lately, you're doing better than you think. I'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, just one update. This show is a bi-weekly show now. I don't have the time to do a weekly show anymore, so we'll stick with every 2 weeks. See ya.